Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday Morning Live with Nat. And this morning, I'm going to be having a special guest in Fi Mims, who did my personal branding photography a couple of months ago, actually. And I had a wonderful experience with her. So it's been an exciting time, starting to use my new photos that she did for me. And she'll be joining us in a moment. Good morning, Yvonne and Sharon. Great to have you guys on the call. As you can hear, I've got post-retreat voice. We just came back from the 26th Ultimate 48 Hour Author Retreat yesterday. And it was a massive, amazing weekend. And of course, I always sing too much, yell too much, train too much, and dance too much and not sleep enough, so I'm catching up. So good morning to everyone who's joining us in. Let me see, you guys, how I can the reason I came on 5 minutes early is so I can make sure I can bring Fi on the live like interview style, side by side, and I'm just gonna press some buttons here and see if I can see if she's watching my live as yet. Here we go. No, she's not as yet. So hang on a tick. Oh my goodness. I'm pressing all the here we go. What else? All right, let me send her a little message through here. And if you are on live watching, can you please request to join the call or send me a little message in the comment box so that I can put you, I can bring you on camera. So when you join in, I can see that you are watching. Let me send her a message. We are on, are you watching? Just start watching the call. All right, you guys, sometimes this is why 5 minutes earlier we get on live. So let me just see if I can see her. So Fi, if you can, if you are on the call and you are watching, then write me a comment and then I'll see that you're on there, and somehow I might be able to click over your name and then bring you to camera. But while that's happening, you guys, I am going to share the call also in a couple of groups that we go live in, and then we'll go from there. Let's have a look here. She's watching. Okay. She's watching. Make a comment. All right. Make a comment. I don't know why her name, everyone who's been joining in, their name's been flashing up and it's saying bring to camera, bring to camera. The only person it hasn't done it to is, here she is. She's made a comment here. All right, let me see if I can click on the name. For some people, it's selectively saying bring to camera, and for other people, it's saying, all right, here we go. I can search. All right, here we go. I've invited you. I have invited you. Ooh. All right. So, all right. Fi Mims wants to be on your video. Here we go. Approve. It's happening. It's adding her
Good morning. No, you gotta mute me.
I know, so hang on, sorry. I'm just trying to get all set up here. Turn my volume up so I can hear you. I'm so sorry. I'm a Facebook Live virgin, so I was like, how do I actually find her? It was hilarious. I'm here.
Excellent. Now I can hear myself from your end. Am I coming live on another screen or not?
No, I've turned that off. I had my desktop on for a second just to try and work out how to get to you, but I've turned that off, so that should be fine now. I'm just on my phone.
Okay. I'm hearing my voice. Yvonne just said need earplugs. Let me try that.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to try earplugs at my end?
Yeah, let's try earplugs.
I've got some.
All right, hang on, you guys. Hello.
All right. No, it's not fixed at my, oh no, I'm good now. I can't hear the double voice. Can you hear me?
Yes, is that better?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's perfect. Yes, perfect. Yvonne, thank you for the tip.
Thanks,
because
Yvonne.
you never know. Sometimes it doesn't do it,
Yes.
and sometimes it does. So good morning, everybody. This is Fi.
Good morning, and thank you for
And,
waiting.
Yeah, well, this is why it's not even 9 a.m., right? We said we're going to give ourselves 5 minutes to get the technology sorted. So we're right smack bang. It's pity you can't cut out those initial first few minutes on live, but you can once you extract the video and put it on like YouTube. So we're going to get that done before we get it up on there. Thank you so much for being here this morning and being my savior post-retreat, because I'm always like fuzzy-headed and I go, at least if I don't have to think about stuff, you can deliver the value and I'll just ask the questions.
Sounds good to me. And thank you for asking me. It's really grateful for any opportunity to talk about what I do and to give some value to anyone listening. So it's great to be here.
Awesome, because I wouldn't put anyone on my live unless I thought they did a good job. They were fast and efficient and professional, and of course the outcome was amazing. So I'm also going to share this live in a couple of more groups, which I didn't get a chance to do before. So while I'm doing that, why don't you give the guys a little bit of a brief background of who you are and what you have done and how long you've been doing it for.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'll just, if I'm not watching you, I'm just sharing on the other computer so that more people can see it across the other group.
For sure.
Go.
Hi, everyone. All I can see is Natasha and my faces on screen, so I can't really see who's watching, but I can see there's a few people there. So hi, my name is Fi Mims. I don't know if you already know me or not, but I am a personal branding photographer based in Melbourne. I started as a photographer about 15 years ago now, and as many photographers do, I started out in weddings and absolutely loved it. And I really just went into photography because I used to look at beautiful photographs of portraits and just think that is something I would love to be able to do. So I really just went out to become a photographer because I thought it would be an amazing career that was fulfilling to me and also people I photographed. So I was in weddings for about 10 years and absolutely loved it. But obviously life changes happen and I got married and had kids, and I have twins that are now 10, and as I had my kids, I thought it would be better to evolve into more family portraiture where I wasn't booking myself ahead and being away for long days on weekends. So I still do a lot of family portraiture now, but I've really evolved over the last 5 years into personal branding, and I do mostly work with women, but I also photograph men. And my first personal branding portrait was about, I think it was about 2012, 2013, so about 5-6 years ago. And at the time, it wasn't even called personal branding. It was just women or people started to recognize that they needed good images to promote themselves online. So it was really a portrait shoot for me. But having done a couple of those, I just recognized that it really was something I enjoyed doing. And the clients loved it as well because they loved the value in the images and you could see them using the images. I really loved that. And I think also as a woman in business, I resonate with my clients because I have the same struggles as everyone else in terms of not only just growing the business and all the nuts and bolts of it, but putting yourself out there and self-promotion. It's really tough. So it's great to be able to provide clients with images and everything that comes with that helps them with confidence and growing their business.
Nice one. Well, thank you for the introduction and give it the expanded story, because you had told me briefly but not as much where you had come from, and certainly having had the full experience with you recently, it was delightful. I haven't even got around to using everything that we did together because we did so much together, and it was only last night when I was creating the little image to promote our event today, and I got to put one of the images we did together, and I have 2 weeks at home now, so I'm going to create all this collateral around it. So when we're talking about personal branding, because a lot of the people watching this are going to be either solopreneurs or entrepreneurs and all that. What are the most important aspects that someone needs to think about when they're thinking about getting ready for something like this?
So there's a few things, because it's really easy to go to a photographer and have great photos taken of you. But the difference with personal branding is that you have to ensure those images are the right images for you and for your audience and for your brand. So you really need, as much
information as possible about understanding your brand and who you're trying to attract is great. So, and sometimes your photographer can help you with that if you're unsure. Not all of my clients know what they need or what they want, or even necessarily what their brand looks like. They might have a fuzzy idea. And then there are other people I work with that are very established, and they already, like yourself, Natasha, you have an established brand. You knew your colors, you knew your message. Coming to a photographer with that information is great. Your personal brand is all about sending the message to your audience about who you are and what you can offer them. So knowing who you are, the kind of people that you want to work with, also thinking about the nuts and bolts of it is the type of images you want and how you'll use them. Because again, you can go to a photographer and just get 50 or 100 great photos of yourself in different angles and one location. But you want to think, okay, how am I going to use those images? Where am I going to use them? Is it on a website? In which case, what sort of shot am I looking at? Is it a wide banner shot? So there's that side of it, which is kind of more the technical side, but then there's the brand side, which is, what's the message I'm trying to send, and who am I trying to attract? Yeah, that's really, really important.
From my experience, what was really helpful, and yes, I was clear on what I wanted, and I had done branding photography beforehand over the years with other photographers. It was really what I loved about your approach was how much you automated all of these bits and pieces with a link to this questionnaire that asked you 1,000,001 questions, which was really in depth and detail. I used that then to pass on all my information to my stylist that I hired to, get some outfits together and all that sort of stuff. It was like you kind of spelled it right out. And what I love is that's a system, you guys, that means it saves fee time, but also you get to calmly sit back at home and think about the answers to all of those questions and start to really think about, and yes, you're absolutely right. Where am I going to use them? So often us as solopreneurs, we need marketing photos where we're pointing this way, we're holding this thing up. You're, if you have a product, a placement and all that kind of stuff, it really helps to, I think, almost most of the work is in the preparation. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, because that will give you the most value. Yeah. And often even when I'm mid-shoot with a client and we're taking photos, I'll be always thinking about their business and, looking at the expressions on their face or maybe the location we're in and going, hey, this would be really good if you wanted to talk about growth or your journey or, about having a really crappy day if you've got a sad expression on your face, or having a bad hair moment. So I'm always thinking about how can you use those images and we do as much of that work before the day, but I'm also doing that through the shoot. And there's a lot of talk of storytelling these days. That's, the buzzword around storytelling. And I think of your branding images as the vehicle for your storytelling. So what stories do you want to tell your audience with your images? Because really that's branding. It's standing out. And
it's not all about, it's no longer the headshot, I mean, those are kind of really dry and boring. We want expressions, we want tools, we want, different things to capture people's attention, and we don't want that corporate look, it's so 1980s or something.
Yeah, well, it's all about first impressions, isn't it? I mean, your brand, obviously, your brand has to be consistent, I think. So, obviously, consistency, I think, is the biggest factor in branding, because you can go out, get a shoot, put some great photos out there, but then if there's crickets and you stop, or if you stop talking to your audience, then they don't, it just stops. There's no consistency there, or they get confused, or they stop seeing you. But if you can create those images that make them stop when they're scrolling through their feed, and you've got a great story to tell with that, and then you're doing that consistently, that's when you really build that trust and loyalty with your audience. And, everyone says you need so many touch points with people before they are going to potentially decide to work with you. So the more you can put yourself out there, the better the possibility of someone choosing to work with you. And if you've got great images, and if you've got a lot of great images, I find that my clients have more confidence to put themselves out there.
Absolutely. And you get a lot more high reaction. I mean, when I was posting some people thought my sort of behind the scenes photos were the real, so they weren't even the real photos. And then when we posted the real photos, there was such a huge response and reaction to them. And now I'm starting to slowly build I have enough images to last me. And that's the question, the next question. How often should someone redo their photos?
Yeah, I do get that question a bit. Look, it does depend on your brand. Like if you're an entrepreneur like yourself, who you are your brand and you are posting a lot of content, you know, you've got you do retreats, you do workshops, you do masterclasses, then you will need more content. So, you know, you could have a shoot, one big shoot every year, or you could do a shoot and have some little mini shoots every 6 months or something. But if you're, to be honest, if you're someone who maybe you're not necessarily your brand, you're behind the brand, or maybe some people, they're not so much on Instagram and Facebook, but they might be more focused on LinkedIn and working with larger corporates, maybe they don't need quite so many images. So maybe one every few years. I mean, I have some clients that, they're still using images from a couple of years ago. So yeah, it does depend. It does. I mean, I'll always say you need fresh content, or if you cut your hair, if you cut your hair, then you need to get
totally. I love it. I love it. Actually, Deb, one of our authors said, "Hi, Fi, I'm still using the beautiful photos you did for me 3 years ago."
There you go.
So she's
great.
Deb Pribbins. And people are saying, in case you can't see the comments,
No,
they're saying great value. Thank you so much. And lots of them are saying good morning. So guys, if we're not responding to you, it's because we're right mid-flow conversation, and Fi's going to read and respond to all these comments afterwards and all that sort of stuff. So thank you for joining us if you've just joined, right? All right, so that's okay. So what I loved also that you sent me, so after I did the questionnaire about the personal branding and thinking about what I wanted and all that, then came the preparation manual, almost mini manual, that told me how to eat, what to drink before the photo shoot. Also the little teeny bitty things that you needed to pack and all that sort of stuff. You know, how did you come up with all of this?
I mean, it's experience over time, and it's just when you work with mainly women and also, but also men, but let's say mainly women for 5-6 years, preparation is half the key. So if I can get people to turn up feeling de-stressed on the day, that's like half my job done. And I do find that probably one of the biggest pain points for women around shoots is what they're going to wear. And you had you knew your shoot was coming up and you're experienced at this, so you went and got your stylist to help you and you were sorted. But I do find, I mean, not every woman wants to do that or can invest in that, or they don't have time. And what you're going to wear is often the last thing. So they'll do it the night before and then they'll turn up with all sorts of stuff and they haven't thought it through. So I do try and give a bit of a guideline as to, 4 weeks before the shoot, create your vision boards, obviously talk to your photographer, get your hair and makeup booked in, which is something I do for probably over 95% of my clients now. They can turn up at the studio like you did, and you spend the first hour and a half just sitting there relaxing, getting your hair and makeup done, which I think is a great way to start a shoot.
That was fun.
Yeah, but some people love that guide. It's all about, if go and get your Spanx, or get your if you need your hair, your roots coloured, go and do that, because sometimes we're just all so busy, we don't think about that.
We
stuff.
forget.
Yeah, we don't think about.
I loved it, and it was like a timeline, timelining, and I flicked through it, and I'm super organized, but even that reminded me of a few little points, because you've obviously been through this with hundreds or thousands of people, right? And what that means is that you've at times figured out what was missing and kept adding it to that list. That's what I do for my authors. Like, what I used to give them in the early days has evolved and expanded and then grown to so much detail that they go, oh my God, this is so valuable. So that's what I really appreciate it. No, it's fantastic.
Often it'll be the little things like, someone will just forget the pair of earrings they wanted to bring, or they'll bring the wrong bra to wear under the shirt, So it's those little things which, I mean, who would think about all of those? We're busy getting kids to school and doing other stuff. Yeah, I
think the most important, if I can give from a personal experience advice, there was a lot to think about. The day was just the form, almost like just the get the formality done of the photo shoot. Everything that led up to it, almost that whole month beforehand, was really important. So if anyone's thinking of doing this with Fi or with anyone else, they need to get all that stuff sorted. Look at, what else I did, and I don't know if you have other tips or recommendations, but I went on Google and just went personal photography, like posing ideas, or look at other entrepreneurs that I followed,
Yes.
and then looked at what kind of images they had done,
Yeah.
and started, because then I also jotted down about 30 different
Yeah.
poses, so that I don't forget. And then you were great on the day as we were going through stuff. What about this now? What about that? And I was, oh yeah, we forgot about that one. Let's do that one. So that was really cool. Any other tips like that?
Yeah, well, there's always room to improvise on the day, but yeah, having as much thought as possible. I mean, I ask my clients to do a Pinterest board, which is their vision board, and
Nice.
often because what they tell me they want and then what they see could be quite different, and for me as well.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's a really good idea. What else can I give you around tips? I mean, one thing I will say is that even just bringing your energy on the day, because I always say to my clients that, as a photographer and anyone you work with, your photographer will bring and should bring great energy on the day, because it's all for us about bringing out your essence and your personality. But it is a team event, and all that pre-work to the lead up means that on the day you can wake up and you should feel ready, you should feel confident, and you need to bring your energy as well. And that's what I loved about working with you, Natasha, is that you had great energy in front of the camera because you were there for a reason. You were going to make it happen, and you're invested in the images, so you've got to bring your energy to the shoot as well. So that's definitely
nice.
Yeah, definitely something.
What about things not to wear on camera? What is there outfits that you shouldn't really wear?
Yeah, look,
on camera?
there's general guidelines. So all rules are made to be broken, but in general, when people ask me about what to wear, I say block colors always work better than patterns, although some people wear patterns really well. So block colors always work better. Choose maybe outfits that are quite classic rather than just fashionable right now, unless you're going to change your images a lot. In terms of colors, obviously you want to wear colors that flatter your complexion and your hair and your eyes, but they say that jewel colors are most flattering. So if you think of those deep greens, deep blues, deep reds, and even some neutrals, but all those jewel colors are usually the most flattering. So
right.
Being in Melbourne, a lot of people want to wear black for their photo shoots, and I say, look, that's fine. I wear a lot of black too, and that might be part of your brand and your look, but I think you should always try and inject color into your outfits in some way, because that can be a real showstopper in terms of creating energy and impact for your images. I think as women, sometimes if we're a little bit conscious about our bodies, we can opt for very loose fitting clothing. And I think that's a mistake, because you should always try and wear clothes that show off your curves a little bit. And it doesn't mean skin tight or going, in a short skirt or anything, but just go for clothes that are really well fitted and flattering. Another good one for women is no sleeveless tops. And again, I've photographed lots of women with no sleeves or little cap sleeves, but a lot of women don't like their arms in photos, and they can distract from you being the face and the rest of the image. So that's a little one. There's lots of little tips like that. Yeah. Hopefully that helps.
I love it. That was really cool. And I mean, as you were telling them, I can see how some people would want to do one thing and actually it's not. In photography you can tweak things, you can stand a certain way. I have my good side, so I know you didn't think one was good or bad, but when I see myself photographed from this side, it's way nicer than this side.
Gosh, everyone's got their thing.
We all have the thing. But look, is there anything else that
I was just going to say, in terms of color, I also I do ask my clients about your brand colors. So obviously if you've got a brand that's got specific colors, then you want to some women want to work fully into those. So I'm always going to be in red, white and black. And if you don't want to go that far, then you should still be thinking about colors that complement your brand, because again, it's all about that consistency. So you don't have to wear the same colors all the time, but if you've got a website that's all these soft pastels, then you probably don't want to get up in a bright orange top that's going to really confuse the viewer. So I do think about what images are going to look good on you, but then also what's going to complement your brand and give that sort of overall look and feel that you want your clients to get. Also, again, it's about attracting your audience. Like, who are you trying to appeal to? So what do you want to look like? If you're doing a branding session, it's a nice idea to have a mix of lifestyle, relaxed lifestyle images. So you might be in a pair of jeans with a nice jumper and a pair of sneakers because that's how you are at home or out in the park. But then if you're also someone who speaks on stage or holds workshops and you're obviously an established entrepreneur and you're smart and professional, you also want those images that show you in those type of outfits as well. So you still want to have that consistency in terms of style and maybe color, but you should be showing the different sides of your personality in your outfits too. So you should always have a variety for your shoots, so you're not in the same one or two outfits for all your images.
That's how I approached it. I approached, the black and white look, the Chanel look kind of thing that we did. And bright poppy colors. So that's another tip, is that obviously social media images that get used a lot on social media. And what I love and what I think gets attention for me, especially, is when I have that bright color pop photo, like the bright red jacket that I had in the promo photo of this, and the pink dress that we did. And last shoot I had a bright yellow jacket. And if we use those in Facebook ads, they really do stop people at their tracks. So that could be also a strategy, not just because that color suits you or it's your brand, it could be just make sure that it's noticed. Right?
Absolutely. Because people are scrolling so quickly, aren't they? If you can create any kind of impact, and those colors are really good energy colors as well, but they really stand out in your images, and people will stop and go, ooh, whether it's I love that color or I love that dress, or she looks amazing. What's she doing? What is it about her? So, and I think also, particularly in your images, you really portrayed that very established professional entrepreneur who knows her shit, and you know what you're doing and you take it really seriously. And I think that's another thing that, for women, you've got to really step up in your images and, just own it, own yourself, own your value, own what you do, and put yourself out there more. And I know a lot of people do struggle with that, and it does get easier over time. And I have days when I don't want to be online either, but you have to consistently show up and just back yourself more as a woman, I think.
Yeah. So tell me, I know that a lot of people are nervous, like, people have done it 5-10 times before. They're okay, like, and, just they've got to turn up and be prepared and all that. But someone who is, you might like this, would you say a lot of people are nervous when they step in front of the camera?
I would say 95% of my clients.
There you go, right?
And everyone I book, there is a conversation at some point, give or take, 3 or 4%. There's always a conversation around, I really feel awkward in front of the camera. I really don't like photos of myself. I've been putting this off forever. So it is the same story. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, yep, that's me, you are so not alone. Like, I think we look at other images that other people are putting out there where they look great in their photos, thinking, she can do that, but I can't do that. I look awkward in photos, I've never had a good photo taken of me. But that could be that you just haven't done the work. You haven't done the prep. You haven't had a proper photographer. You haven't thought about your images. But all those women have exactly the same thoughts, that, they didn't want to have the shoot. And look, there are some women that probably loosen up in front of the camera more than others. But all I can say as a photographer is, most of our job is just trying to relax you in front of the camera, and it's never as bad, is it, Natasha? You would know. It's. I mean, I don't know. How did you feel when you very first started doing photo shoots? You would be much less nervous now because it's more part of the job, yeah.
Yeah. Because I also didn't understand or what I really wanted, and that's sometimes people can feel awkward because they really don't know where to hold their hands, or if they're, or just positioning the body. And that's part of, I think, where kind of may come in, and then obviously then body image and things like that are stuff so you're probably having a combination of 5 to 7 different things going in the back of your mind, and the photographer's there in front of you. But I love the skill that you have, that to get the image, the smiley one, the more serious one, the pensive, I don't know, the really laughing one, and
oh, hang on, I'm getting a little bit of crackle. I'm just gonna hang on. I don't know if, I'm getting a lot of crackle. I don't know if it's
hearing it a little bit, but we're still not.
Okay, so I missed that last sentence. Oh, hang on. I don't know what's going on. I'm getting lots of crackle here. I can't hear you now. I'm going to take my phones out. I don't know what's going on. I've just got this really loud buzzing now in my ears. Let me see if I've got another set of headphones. Hang on.
All right. Can you hear me now? I've taken them off you guys. Sorry, guys. Oh, it was working so well the last 5 minutes.
Oh,
Any better?
yeah, it's gone now.
No?
I don't know. It was terrible loud buzzing in my.
I know. I've got
Yeah,
it too.
okay. Sorry,
I've got
everyone.
it 2 at times, but I've taken mine out. So let's finish. I'm fine.
Yeah,
with
okay.
there's
No, it's all good now. It's all gone.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I missed your last sentence there. We were talking, about different expressions and relaxing in front of the camera. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I was also saying is I took my assistant to the day photo shoot, and you don't have to have an assistant.
Yeah.
You could have a friend, a partner, whatever it is. But it was really helpful to have that second person just helping out with outfits, moving things around as you saw in the room. It was consider if you are going to do this. It feels busy on that day, right?
Yeah.
Because we want to smash it out. You want to have the outfit changes. You're doing your hair and makeup. You got to eat and drink throughout. So that's another kind of tip that people might think, and that person can also help make you laugh and relax you, because maybe then if you are going to a photographer that you're using for the first time, like I was with Fi, I was just we didn't know each other yet, right? Yeah. Whereas I think it'll be even more friendlier next time around, and that's why having a person that you maybe know that relaxes you is perhaps a great idea as well. Yeah,
it can definitely help. And otherwise, I just pull out lots of really bad jokes and talk to you a lot through the session. And I can honestly vouch that at the end of a shoot, you'll look back and go, that was actually quite fun. It's the idea of the shoot. It's the same, fear is always about the idea of something being terrible. But once you actually do it, it's never as bad as you think. And all my clients, I'm not say they walk out going, I want to do this again tomorrow, but they all say that was actually really fun, and they get great images. Yeah. And
well, put it this way, we did the pop. What is
the
it?
Confetti pop. That was great, wasn't it?
At the end, there's the finale, and we did a couple of rounds of that, and that made us nearly pissed ourselves laughing.
What's not to love as well? You get your hair and makeup done, you look great, you have fun, like you're doing great work for your business. And can I just say as well, perfection is overrated. It's not about looking perfect or looking like a model. It's about looking like you and just putting your best face on and your best energy on. And because women come in and they're like, oh my god, I haven't shaved my legs, or I've got bad ankles, or I don't like my earlobes, and like I have heard it all, and no one is looking at those things. They're just looking at the energy you give to the camera.
That's right.
I
agree. Well, wonderful tips. And I can tell you, if you are having that second person who's taking photos of you behind the scenes, that's the other thing to consider, because if you're an entrepreneur, you want to take people behind the scenes a little bit and think about that. And what you're also doing in taking that, you're taking them on a journey. Like I always say, when you're writing a book, tell people when you're prepping, show them your computer screen, you're sending it to your editor, like show them throughout that journey, and you're building up this excitement behind what's coming up. But at the same time, you are promoting your brand, and people are seeing, it's elevating what you're doing.
And people love behind the scenes. They love behind the scenes, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah. So lots of people have been asking, commenting and asking questions, and like saying this is awesome and all that kind of stuff. And some of them sign me up. But let's just talk about the fact that you are based in Melbourne. Okay. Yes. And we talked about this challenge that my authors are everywhere. Around this country and all that sort of stuff. And of course, sometimes they come into Melbourne for like master classes and all that sort of stuff. And the person that was saying sign me up, she's up from Brisbane. So in what way can people, I know you do some workshops, I'm going to ask you about those as well, but in what way can people get access to you? You tell us.
Okay. So I am based in Melbourne. So a lot of my shoots do happen here, most of my shoots. I do travel. So I haven't advertised yet, but I am going to be putting out a couple of dates for Sydney at the end of next month, and potentially so September and potentially October as well. So I am starting to travel more interstate, and maybe Brisbane will be on my list. I actually have a brother who lives in Brisbane, so that's a good excuse to go up there. Basically, if there's enough interest, I will always travel, and some people do pay for me to go interstate for shoots.
Nice.
So that's obviously one way in terms of shoots. I have started doing branding workshops. They're half-day workshops, which again, I have held them in Melbourne, but a lot of people have commented that they just live too far away or they can't make them. So I'm looking at holding either a virtual one or doing maybe even a webinar. And that's basically all the strategy work around your brand. So I have found that having done personal branding shoots for so many years, helping clients with that strategy work around their brand really gives them a head start. So these workshops, I'm expanding into those to help people work on their brand so that when they come to do their shoots, or even in a wider more holistic sense for their business, they just have more understanding about their message and how to talk to their audience. So just look out for dates on those. Going to my website and signing up to my newsletter, you'll always hear about those things once they're out there. You know, if I'm going interstate, or if I'm doing special days in Melbourne. Obviously you can book in just for a call with me if you want to talk about the possibility of a shoot, whether it's in Melbourne or interstate, and we can see if something can happen. But that way also you'll keep up with all my latest news and where I'm going.
Yeah, so I think the best way is go to Fi's website, which we'll obviously post up in the comments, and access her and contact her. She's so like always, whenever we've gotten on the phone, we've gotten organized with whatever we needed to do, and she's faster than get you a quote or whatever it is. This is what I love. You know, if people take more than 24 to 48 hours to get me a quote, forget about it. I'm working with them because I'm
You're fast, Natasha. It's true though. It's true.
So it's true. I mean, when it comes to, you know, someone is looking for a solution, you've had the conversation, give the bloody person the quote, you know, and this is what I say to people. It's like, come on, you guys, you know, you want to have a successful business, but, you know, some businesses have waited 2 weeks for a quote, and it's like, your history, like I've already hired someone, you know. So that's what I love. And the delivery of the images post-shoot was in a very fast turnaround, timely manner. Gave me a couple teasers that, you know, I could put out there, you know, because you want to show, you don't want to have this massive gap where you haven't released, you've had the photo shoot, and then, you know, you're excited to start using your stuff. I'll post all of that up. I think that's amazing, you know, and I look forward to working with you in the future again, you know, with new outfits and new looks and all that. And for now, though, till the next
You've got a lot of images to use.
I've got so many to go through and create little, you know, Canva, you know, photos for blogs. So, you know, it's changed stuff over on the website. I mean, literally now the work's cut out for me to actually embed them in all of the different areas, and that's wonderful.
Yeah, that just made me think as well. Can I say that often if people aren't used to having photo shoots for their brand, the first one is often about the nerves, and once they get through that first shoot, then the following shoots they do have that brain space to think more about, you know, this is what I need. So if you haven't had a shoot before, just break the seal, get it done, understand what it's about, and that it's not as bad as you think. And then you'll start using those images and you'll be thinking, oh, I should have got one like this and I could have used it for that. So that's when it starts to really work for you. Just get through those nerves.
And maybe make notes of poses as you are sort of going through your life, like, you know, have a section in your phone. You know, poses, ideas, and then when the time comes, you kind of have the break.
Great idea.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
People are saying, what's the website? We're gonna post it. Don't worry. Like, it's coming.
I'm sorry, I haven't been able to see the comments because I've got it landscape on my phone, so I've only just got photos of us here.
They've been coming up on.
No, they're not coming up, but that's all right. I'll read them all and post. So thanks to everyone who's listening.
Beautiful. So thank you so much for being with us this morning. I think some of those dressing tips, nerves tips, you know, branding, the questions you should be asking yourself, all of that. I hope you guys made notes. If you didn't, go back, watch it again, and check out when Fi does the next, you know, photo shoots and workshops and webinars, because I think, well, she aligns with my brand and my way of how I approach customer service, and And that's why I have her on the call
Thank
today.
you.
So have a wonderful week. Smash it
Thank you,
out,
everyone.
right?
Thanks, Natasha. Really good to be
And
here.
we will talk
Yeah.
soon. Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a great week.